Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237 as I continue my marathon of 80 slasher films, my second marathon of 80 slasher films. And this time it's 1984's Fatal Games, which was originally titled The Killing Touch and I think is still called in other places Olympic Nightmare. Which, The Killing Touch is kind of a dumb title, but I don't mind Fatal Games or Olympic Nightmare. Either one of those would have worked, but here it goes by Final Games. It was directed by Michael Elliott, produced by William Croes, written by three people. Raphael Buñuel, Michael Elliott, and Christopher Mankiewicz, if I pronounce that correctly. And it stars Sally Kirkland, Lynn Banashek, Sean Masterson, Michael O'Leary, introducing Teal Roberts, and Spice Williams Crosby. Now, if you've been following my recent slasher reviews, you've probably heard me say a number of times it's a bit slower, it's built more on story, or the killings are pushed more towards the end, or has a low body count. And if I could recommend it, I couldn't really recommend it to die-hard slasher genre fans. This is a return for me to what people think of slashers. In fact, it's been compared frequently to Graduation Day, which I can see. It has a theme. It has a themed killer going after a certain group of people in a certain area. And it's not a great film. I mean, I would probably put it in the same quality as Graduation Day, but I did enjoy it. It's not an effects film. It's not an overly bloody, splatter slasher. But it takes place at this high school. I believe it was a high school, Falcon Academy, where these 7 gold medalists, that was 7? Yeah. Of these gold medalists in the different Olympic events for the school, and they're getting ready to go up to the nationals, but they're being stalked and killed one by one by someone in a black tracksuit with a javelin. The javelin is the weapon of choice here. And, I mean, the kills are consistent throughout the film. I mean, by the time we got to the 4th kill, I was like, how much time has gone by? And it was like an hour, 2 minutes. So it's like every 12 to 15 minutes you get a kill, and I mean it's the same kind of ratio that like Graduation Day had. It's that frequent. So slasher fans are gonna love this movie. Again, it's probably not as gory as Graduation Day or like Friday the 13th, The Burn. It's not a Savini film. The story is very thin. I mean, it really is, okay, these 7 winners are now getting ready to go to the nationals. They're being stalked and killed. And then, the principal and the coaches are all wondering where these kids are going. They're all a group of friends, and eventually they start putting it together that some of their members haven't been heard from, and they start to put it together. The music is a bit different for a slasher film. Don't really know how, it's not your kind of synthy, well, the opening is, but like during some of the stalk and kill scenes, it's not like your 80s synthy music. But I thought some of the stalking scenes were well done. I believe it's our second victim is in a sauna, and then the lights go out, so then she's kind of walking around the locker room in the school with all the lights out. It's got this nice blue hue to it. She's killed off screen and dragged away. That's really I think that's really the only one we don't get to see. But like the first girl to get killed, she's on that like one of those bars that you like walk on and kind of spin around on. And we mostly just see the javelin go like, whew, and like hit someone. It hits her, she flies back and hits the wall. Then we get the girl in the sauna. And then there's this one guy who, it feels like they're trying to set up as the killer because he's throwing javelins. Then all of a sudden we just see this it almost looks like it's on strings, but it's going fast enough. Hits him, and then we look at the bleachers, and where the commentator's box is, that's where the killer is. The acting is kind of hokey. The lead actress, character named Annie, can't even click on her name. There's some scenes where she kind of looks like Linda Blair. Like if Linda Blair had Adrienne King's haircut from Friday the 13th, kind of. Like some scenes she does look like Linda Blair. Some of these faces did look familiar. Sally Kirkland, who plays the I think she's like the gym medic. What the hell else was she in? She was nominated for an Oscar, and not this. She was in Two Evil Eyes, which Romero did with Argento. Sean Masterson, that actually sounds familiar too. Lots of TV. 21 Jump Street, Saved by the Bell. Murphy Brown, Melrose Place, Friends, Couch. Not too many films. And then this one girl, Lynn, played by Teal Roberts, she's the swimmer. Which I think it's her boyfriend, Frank, played by Michael O'Leary, who I guess is only known for the soap opera Guiding Light. But he was doing the thing where you pick yourself up, swing your legs, twist, and jump off. He lands and fucks up his ankle, and sort of towards 84, I think 84 was the last year of the golden age of slashers. I think once 84 ended, we got into 85. We got the really self-referential, self-parody slashers because of the start of the decline and the fatigue of the slasher genre. So this film doesn't feel like a parody or anything like that. It also doesn't feel clever enough to make this scene a parody of something, but you do get this one scene that is so over-the-top Hollywood that you can't help but think it's a parody. I mean, if it was in Slaughter High or Return to Horror High or one of those sort of self-mocking slasher films, then I'd believe it. It was like he fucks up his ankle, he's on the gurney, the swimmer, his girlfriend Lynn, runs up to him. They're holding hands, and he's like, I'll be okay, but you gotta win for both of us. You're gonna have to win for us both. You're gonna be the champion. You. And she's like, no, Frank, I wanted you to be the winner. And he's like, it like almost had like when South Park does their Bruckheimer parody, like with the sheriff, when he's always like, I'm surprised he didn't have a voice like that, like, sorry babe, but it's just not gonna happen. I came too close, they took it all away. It's fucking hilarious. I was laughing the whole time. Again, it feels like they're trying to be serious, but it's so out of place and so over the top that it feels like they're mocking that kind of Hollywood moment. I love the shot when the girl in the sauna sees the killer, because the lights go out, but there's like this one light, and it's like this head-on shot of the killer. It's the way the killer's like standing there with the javelin in silhouette of the light. It looks like the cover to John Carpenter's The Thing, and it's beautiful looking. Or like the cover to the 2014 found footage film Creep, just the way the light is behind someone creating that silhouette, but it's like creating those rays of light around the person. So that shot looks like the poster to The Thing, and I liked that. And then, of course, Lynn is doing her laps, and the underwater scenes surprisingly look pretty decent, too. Which I was surprised, because watching it on YouTube through the PS4, the quality isn't always the best. But, like, those underwater sequences, looking up at her as she's doing her laps, the quality was actually quite surprising. And again, I know this has a Blu-ray. I don't know if Arrow has done it, but I know there's a Blu-ray. And like when I say quality, it's just because of, I don't know why, but as far as like VHS to DVD to Blu-ray to 4K quality, I don't care about Blu-ray and 4K. I would like to have this on DVD just in its regular, even if it's its regular VHS quality transfer, like Nightmares in a Damaged Brain, which I have like that. People are always like, dude, why don't you just get the Blu-ray? Because I don't give a fuck, that's why. I would like to get the DVD of this. But yeah, so I don't know how I went on that tangent, but the killer's underwater, full diving gear, like a oxygen tank and everything. And like some of the kills, the camera is sort of like the shark in Jaws kind of goes towards her. And then we kind of see her stop swimming, and when she rolls over, the javelin's there. And basically, the lead girl, Anne, and Frank start thinking something's up with the kids. And that one woman, Diane, who's the medic, almost played by Sally Kirkland, almost looks kind of like if, which again, I know she's an Oscar-nominated actress, but maybe it was after this, but the first scene I saw her in, I kind of had this feeling like when you're like, Mom, I want Dee Wallace, and then your mom's like, we have Dee Wallace at home. Like, she's not quite Dee Wallace, kind of looks like her. But I would say spoiler alert here, even though I just spoiled all the kills for you. But, can I recommend this? Absolutely. If you're a slasher fan and you like steady kills, you know, sort of a themed killer in a themed place, because they're all killed within the gym or the locker room or the pool or the track field. So it's all relevant to each other. It does go at a good pace. The acting isn't terrible. I mean, it's maybe a little better than your regular slasher film acting, B-movie acting. Again, it's not an over-the-top bloody film. It's not an effects film. But there are steady kills. I mean, every 12 to 15 or so minutes, you get a kill. So it's very steady. And I really enjoyed it. It did remind me a lot of Graduation Day. So if you liked Graduation Day, you'll like Fatal Games. And it is for free on YouTube. Or be a stickler for the Blu-ray and wait for 7K to come out before you get it. Whatever. So her and Frank go to the school. They're walking around. They split up. Frank comes across this one room, opens the lockers, and all the bodies are in there. We find out the killer is Diane. If it said why, it went over my head, but there's even this one point where she like drops her voice and she's like, she knows Anne is that Frank got killed. He got dragged off screen. And she's trying to find Anne. She has the javelin, and she's like, I'm gonna have to disqualify you. He wants to disqualify you. I have to disqualify who he said. No, she drops her voice. I must have missed what her deal was. But her and Anne get in like this chase, and there's this stair lift. She gets pushed off or falls onto this table. There's a trophy. Trophy goes right through her chest. And then, like a lot of slasher films or Italian films, as soon as she's dead with that trophy sticking out, credits roll. It's very fast paced. Again, the kills are consistent, and throughout the film, you don't have to watch like an hour, 15 minutes, and then get 2 or 3 kills pushed together in the last 15 minutes. As far as a slasher marathon that I've been doing, this was, kind of refreshing. Because I've been watching, I guess it just so happens, because where I already did a bunch of slashers last year, it seems like the ones I'm coming to now are like the forgotten and obscure ones, and kind of for a reason. The ones that do either focus on story or have all the kills pushed towards the end. But I really enjoyed this. Is it one of my favorites? No. But compared to the ones I've seen recently, except for maybe Don't Go in the House, which even that one you only really get like the first kill on screen, or like Hospital Massacre, this one felt like an 80s slasher. This one felt like a true, I don't want to say stereotypical, but like a true example, because I mean, you got the consistent kills, decent body count, you get the themed area, which is, the gym, the pool, the locker room, the group of friends who are all athletes, you get the themed killer, the tracksuit, the javelin, and the twist at the end. I don't really have any complaints. I mean, because if I'm going into a slasher film, the only thing I care about is the kills and the effects. Not always. Sometimes once with the story is enough to grab me, but I really don't have any complaints about this. Could it have been bloodier? Sure. But I was plenty happy with Fatal Games. I had fun with it. It's one of the better, not as a film, but just as a slasher film, it's one of the best ones that I've seen recently. And even though Don't Go in the House is more of a character study slasher like Maniac, this is the best one since then that I've seen. I really enjoyed Fatal Games. But anyway, that's Fatal Games from 1984, and thank you for watching.